So the story of the holy man I haven't finished.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Muslim holy man. So after we finished, we went back to the city.
Uh-huh.
And I have to go pick up my passport. And I was very upset, but then finally knew that this big guy, I was with him, and that was cool.
Because your passport had been sitting there unclaimed for a couple of weeks, and you had disappeared.
I have disappeared.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
They didn't know, where is this guy?
Uh-huh.
They didn't know I was, and I just didn't think about it.
Right.
I was really serious. So here I am, and then I went, and I wasn't, Askia with me. He comes every day. He comes at the end of the day, and he's walking with a gallon of Johnny Walker, with his big crown, coming to pick me up, to go to the wilderness so we can have good time, invite people, and drink Johnny Walker.
No way.
Yeah, he used to pick me up and go and, visit people, and, I really got to know the community this way.
Because he was very well connected. And he could entertain everybody.
Yeah, he's well connected. He's a holy man, but his walking was clear. You could see in his head a gallon of Johnny Walker. He was walking with it just
that's interesting.
not hiding it or anything. And then after that, when finally I got my passport, what the police said, okay, we want you to stay in this village.
Oh yeah.
In this village, because he said, we know where you are. And you know what, this village was specialized in dance.
It did. So it was a good place for you anyway.
So I was in a village where they did the dance and music, and they bought all the chorus and the frituas and the bells, and how they play, how the Ghanaian and the songs of Mali, so beautiful. All the women doing their dances, and the men, and I started dancing, and when I dance right, they scream at me. So I was a village. Basically, all they do is dance and have a great time. So even though I arrived with no contact, I ended up learning more. Because I don't think if I had a contact with the university, it would be very kind of stylized and very official. And I would never be able to live in a village,
right,
or be involved in women helping their husbands with the food and all that. I mean, it wouldn't be possible to do that if I planned it. But I didn't think that way. But you see how I learned very, by the circumstances. And one day, here I was standing in the entrance. What do you call the hallway of a hotel?
Foyer.
The foyer of a hotel. And who I saw coming in for a room is Ibrahim Sow, who I met in France. And he's a fireman. He couldn't go to Guinea because he was a Fulani, one of the Fulani rebels. He's considered a rebel, but they had to fly. They had to go to France and live in Guinea. So I know about him, but I met him in France. Actually, Smithsonian sent me to France to find roots to what's happening in certain traditions in Guinea and in Mali. So I met him in France. So he's walking into the foyer, and I said, Ibrahim Sow, what's the hell? What's we doing here? Oh, Halim. And he was he said, I can't get a room to stay for the night. I said, what? You can't get a room here in Bamako? He said, no, I can't get a room. Come with me. I took him to the desk at Grand Hotel, and I tapped. I said, called the, what do you call them, what's the name for the...
Concierge or
concierge,
the...
yeah, the concierge, come on. Well, the concierge, no, I called the main guy in the hotel
Just
first.
the manager, I don't know.
The manager.
Okay.
I said, Mr. Ibrahim Sow is my friend. Could you please find him a room? Immediately found him. And Ibrahim Sow said, you mean I come home and you find me a room?
Yeah. But was it because he had a political stigma that he couldn't get a room?
No,
or
no, no.
it just happened to be? Okay.
This is Mali, not Guinea.
Okay.
Yeah, he couldn't go back to Guinea.
But it didn't carry over in any way.
It carry over,
okay.
no.
Okay.
But he was just an outstanding poet. It was just, there was nothing about him that, but basically he came to find a room in Mali, next to Guinea, but he didn't go to Guinea. And I found him a room because of my connection, because they know I'm a friend of the Askia.
Right.
Whatever I say is like Askia. Immediately find her. He was so surprised. He said, "Oh, you find me a room for the night?" I said, "Yes, Ibrahim, anything you want."
That was nice. He could take advantage of that, huh?
Yes, the holy man really was really great for me.
He helped a lot. I can see.
Yeah, plus his Johnny Walker. So that was the story of Mali there. But this tells you an idea how I collected my ethnomusicological experiences. You know, it's right in the heart of people's life, you know.
I agree that if you had gone through the university, what you're saying about stylized performances being presented to you, it's a cultural play almost, you know, that we play at our culture instead of actually seeing the culture in context.
Yeah.
It's the classic problem with ethnomusicology.
Yeah, to actually be involved in it.
Right.
Because sometimes it is a show for the music, for the ethnology.
Right.
They prepare a show for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they stay in a hotel and they bring the musicians to them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You got to see the
I lived the
firsthand.
life of it. It kind of became part of you.
So if you ever want to know where to go in the community, go to the police, huh? It's true that the police see everything at some time or another, so they know a lot about what's going on.
This happened in Ethiopia because I had the head of the church give me a letter to make the police help me in my research. In Ethiopia, because I did one before I went to the police station and had a big gathering and I was involved with it. So police came, you know, but I tell them, sorry, I showed them the letter and they saluted me and left.
Oh, did they think that you were some type of a political organizer or something maybe?
Probably, yeah.
Huh, you're dissident, creating a demonstration.
Yeah, there were all these beautiful songs and dances and gatherings. Of people around me. You know, what the hell is going on like
Yeah,
that?
exactly. It's too much activity.
But the head of the church was the power in Ethiopia. Head of the church was connected to the emperor. You know, it was very interesting. Because basically it was a study Coptic chain.
Oh, she's asking if you want some more coffee.
So it was really connected to the I think most of the incidents that I did in my research was without really very involving the universities as such. Went straight to the people.
That definitely seems like the way to go.
It's kind of difficult, but because you kind of make yourself vulnerable as, you know, you're coming into the environment of the people themselves.
Very much. What is so weird is...
Oh, this is cards I made for something.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if you're actually teaching people about field work. Yeah, it says the way is to get invitations, a person for something field from U.S. and Africa and South America, plus performing group to portray the performance tradition. I wonder. Composed material to generate educational awareness and educational practice. I composed an opera for a group of high schools, including African tradition from Egypt, from Egyptian religion and you talk about how everything was integrated in the learning: math, science, religion, crafts, arts and crafts. And so this is talking about the Hawthorne School.
Yeah, because Eleanor was teaching math and science, and she connected.
Here you have one. To use people in the field and invite them to deal with the problem. You can set up the list or you can wish it something. To something people only from the West Indies. To something people only from the West Indies. 3, teachers who are halfway on the West India, some tradition, something to meet with them in an activity. My function as catalyst to stimulate the finding of material and open up the vision to the various possibilities.
Catalyst.
Were you working with people who were doing field work in Caribbean? You were when you were at Atlanta, right? Looks like these are notes about your role. You were talking about trying to find a connection between the United States and the Caribbean and Africa.
Oh.
Were you actually hired by some institution to facilitate this research at some point?
Well, I was working, I had some kind of, I don't know, I know I had some backing to go to Jamaica.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
To work at the University of Atlanta and Morehouse. I think it was the University of Atlanta behind that. Yeah, the Department of African and African American Studies was, what was the head of it? The name would come to me as the...
You've mentioned it before, and I've written it down in the past, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was involvement with Jamaica, represented by, what's his name? Rick Snettleford.
Okay.
So Jamaica, the university at Mona, is it Mona?
I don't know.
The East University in West, there was a university in Jamaica.
Okay.
A British kind of oriented university.
Okay.
It was involved with me. So when I went to Jamaica sometime, I stayed there at the campus. And I think it was called Mona. We went to West Indies. And Atlanta University was involved with me. And and I used to go to Atlanta periodically and taught and gave lectures at Morehouse and at Spelman College, the black universities in Atlanta.
Do you know about when that was?
In the I think in the early 70s, the late 60s and early 70s.
This paper here is from 1972, so I'm guessing that might be correct.
Yeah. See, when I was in Howard University, I made contacts. Then I came to Kent State, and my contacts with Jamaica was University of Is it University of Georgia in Atlanta? It was a university involved with mostly black studies.
Okay.
Yeah. And they invited me on a regular basis, and they were involved in my programs. And I automatically, used to go there and give lectures.
Yeah, here's a plan 2, to generate the activity from people in the area, to assign to given people the responsibility to finding out selected something a little bit, but in the field they should be assigned to this particular group. The participating group brought together with a catalyst, something general, and the group 2 activities. My half is the direction of it. So yeah, it sounds like you're directing groups to do field work.
Yeah, they're creating an interest or a commitment or an engagement in the group. And me being the catalyst for that connection to make it alive or something like that. It's different than, I want to study this, but really there is a reason that affects your life. It generates kind of excitement, generates commitment. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. You need many lives to do all that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
The teaching of music would include industrial skills.
Really? Industrial? I don't know about that.
The social industrial character of the music of the islands. Revitalized through the essence. So treat the socio-economic situations that the teacher or learner, how in music could be used to revitalize and help a skill, and understand how the very roots of its African are basic to the what's going on.
Revitalize, yeah.
So yeah, it looks like you're doing work with educators to integrate the arts and technology.
Exactly, integrate that. And kind of creating an appetite of work,
Yeah, the technical methods and the curriculum to treat outside the realm of the European framework.
Yeah. I think I was going to do this at, I don't know, what Howard needed something like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering now if it is. It says I could lecture, I could show movies, I could do demonstrations. So these are all plans for an integrated... It's an African way of knowing. You're trying to bring a truly African way of knowing instead of using the European model in an African American school.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
This is what you call this? Like an African thought process,
Yeah, because the big difference I see between African traditional education and a European education is Europeans tend to think if it can be learned, we should learn it. And Africans tend to think if you don't know why you're learning it, why would you want to learn it?
Why do you want to learn it?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a motivation involved.
Right. That there's
necessity.
Right.
You need to know it.
Right.
It's not just, okay, I'll do this as a job or something like that.
Right. I still think this problem, here's my opinion, I still think this problem plagues African Americans regarding higher education. If they don't see the practical reason for a liberal education.
Yeah, they don't see it. Yeah, like sometime in my class, African American comes, or at least, why should I learn about Africa? Well, you need to have a motivation. You need the catalyst. So I work as a catalyst. The necessity of knowledge, not just for you being African American, but for the whole humanity, needs to know it. All we need to know that. And so there's a catalyst desire. There's a desire to do that, not just to come in a class for a credit hour and just sit
Yeah.
and do whatever you can, then forget about it.
But you can see, take your example of the women in Mali.
Yeah.
When they're growing their children up by the side of the field, and the child sees my mother dances and sings and plays, and my father is inspired to work hard, and everybody's fed because we do this work. It's so tangible, right?
Yeah.
And then if you separate yourself from the land, you don't see the connection between things anymore.
Yeah.
You have to learn a new way of connecting.
Yeah, this reminds me when you said the women in the field. Remind me of being in Guinea on the Niger River.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember the city. And I was there to visit Kimoko, the guy who was taking me around in Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
Arrived there and I met these people. You know, I was in a community where the women would go out dancing, and the ballophones are laying on the ground all over the place, and they come and play, and their babies are there on the ground playing. So they're women, and some of them are dancing, and some men are drumming and playing balafon. But the babies was also doing it.
Right. Yeah. And no one stopped them or said you shouldn't do it.
No, and they went out there dancing the beginning of the days. The women looked so beautiful. Then I met those two men. One of them was a dream seer, and he talked to him about the huge number, Sigiri, I think the town, Sigiri. Put it down so I don't forget it.
Okay.
Sigiri, S-I-G-U-I, Sigiri. The village of Sigiri on the Niger River in Guinea. That was an incredible experience. And then he told me the history of the balafon from the time of Sundiat in a dream state.
Oh.
He went to a dream state in front of me when I asked him about the balafon. And he said, and he started telling me, I might have captured this on one of my cassettes.
Right.
In a dream state, he told me where the balafon in Sundiat and how it was played. Way back in his mind, the history of the instrument in a dream state. That was just mind-boggling. It all happened in this village of Sigiri. And I saw all these women there with the babies and the balafons on the ground, big ones, and you know, they come and play, you know. So they're part of it. There's no problem of sitting in school or anything, but it's part of the life of the village. You know? You can't take it away. Once you take that away, the village will just, when you say do this later, or this is entertainment, or something like this, the village will die.
Right.
The village will die. And it's amazing. Like what's happening in among the Maasai, you know.
Tell me more about that.
Well,
Currently been taken off the land?
taken off the land, and the ritual of drinking the blood, the ritual of connecting to the cow, interrupted by people taking their land and their cow, and then they end up actually impoverished by the fact that when tourists come, they go there and play and dance and sing to them. Well, it's meaningless because they lost everything. They want to entertain tourists, they can make some money. That's another industry. It's not the ritual.
It's so much like the minstrel shows, like the vaudeville minstrel shows. You're doing the music and the dance, but it's like a mocking of your own tradition. It's really degrading.
Yeah. So the people come and record their music,
Right.
but that's not their music.
Right.
Their music. They took their land, they took their tradition.
Right.
They have nothing. They're beggars now.
Right.
You took what they have.
Right.
You know, that's very serious. I mean, I was really very upset when you see people coming and playing music for the tourist, so they can make. So it could, you know, then you record that, and then it's an ethnomusicological study. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's not. Doesn't represent the real situation. You know.
I'm just writing this down for you.
Mm.
So Halim met a dream seer.
Need to take a break. Can I take a
Sure.
minute?
Yep.
Haven't budged from here.
Oh yeah, I know your legs will be stuck. I'll take this.
Need to. I need to keep that.
Yep, I've got it. I'm gonna keep it.
Because that's what I'm thinking about today.
Got it. Do you have a cane?
Mm,
Can you make
I
it?
don't know. I've been
Okay.
sitting too long.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see if I can find a cane. I don't want your knee to go out on you.
Is there a cane there? I don't know.
Here's one. Oh, there's a good one.
Here's a good one. Thanks.
No trouble.
Doesn't have a stopper.
No, it's too slippery.
Yeah?
Oh, it's too slippery.
Yeah, it's a slippery. Is there a cane in the corner there? I don't know.
No. I saw one by the piano. Hold on.
Oh, the coffee's
Can't
ready.
find a cane. Yeah. Well, we're trying to find a cane, actually.
Trying to find
I don't see. I don't see one. Oh, here. Here.
Yes, it's
Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty.